By after 3 months, I had around 60,000. Nimeuza manguo. I had all the opportunities to get pregnant. I live in Juja alone. Hi guys, I hope you're fine and the Lord has kept you. Once again, welcome back to Life Plus Show. Here, our focus is always to give you the best. And I know you're always used to seeing someone besides me, but today, we don't have someone besides me, so the guest is here and the host is here. And I believe this video will be worth it. So, just a kind reminder, if you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe, because here is just the best place to spend your leisure time and even to get something nice for the days. So welcome back, and my name is Benta. I am the founder of Life Plus Show, and today I just decided to share my story. For the people that know me and that have been following me, we know that I just graduated on Friday last week, and I'm still in the mode of celebration and the mode of seeing what God have done. And I was like, as I was seeing those congratulatory messages and everything that my friends were putting online and in their statuses, I was like, God, this is all about you. And I was like, why can't I share my journey so that it might inspire someone? Maybe someone was looking at that and they were like, hata mimi nilitamani kugraduate lakini mtu akunilipia fee hakuwa. Someone was looking at me and it was like, hata mimi nilitaka kufanya hivyo, but it was not possible. But why? What if you hear my story, you get challenged and realize that it is never too late. So welcome and let's do this. So my story goes back my academic journey. Yes, I started nursery school just as a normal child, and my mother was there. My father was a very hardworking guy. But at class 2, that was 2006, I was just, I think, 8 years old. My father passed. Like, dad yangu alikufa. By then, I was the second born, and personally, I didn't know kutakuwa na shida mob. But I was seeing people crying, and I was like, sawa nalia nini, you see? Mbona mama alia hivyo sana? But personally, I didn't know there was a problem, because my father was providing for us everything, and everyone in the family loved us so much. And I was like, hata kama baba, in fact I didn't know if he died, then those things will be cut off. But now, yes, hapo katikati the life was not that hard, because at least kulikuwa na tuvitu bado that dad had that we could still sustain ourselves on. By that time, my mother was just 28 years old, and now she was here, a widow with 4 kids, and the life just started being challenging, but at least still family was there. But now it became so challenging when I reached at class 7. I was to go to class 7. My elder brother was to go to class 8. And story about certificate, ikatoka. So my brother could not go to class 8 because there was no 1,500 that someone could have to go to Busia kumprocessia birth certificate. So he had to come back to class 7. Mimi sasa pia nikuje class 7. So we are here, both of us. And mom was to provide for us. By that time, huku nyuma education ilikuanga cheap sana. But hapa sasa unajua birth certificate imeanza kukuja, watu wanaanza kulipia vitu. So life started being a reality. And then huko nyuma, maybe that's another story, but just to mention, mom used to cook changa, like to brew changa. And by the changa ilikuwa na dosa na changa ni hiyo pombe hiyo, I don't know, it's called aramu. So even if my father was not there, my mother still had something. So we used to have money. But now at class 7, story ya polisi wakaanza kuwa so strict that she couldn't brew it. Maybe that's the next video that we are going to share about the experience of being raised in such a family. So here mom ameacha kubrew, like hata kama na brew si sana, mimi na bro tuko class 7. Fee imeanza kuwa tricky. And I remember us kukaa kwa meeting. Like mimi na mom tumekuwa kwa meeting na bro, mom anajaribu kuniconvince, like imekuwa ngumu, familia wanasema huyo ni msichana, awachie kijana aendelee. So mom pia anajaribu kuniambia nione sense. At class 7, mimi niachilie bro aendelee juu fee hakuna na maisha inakuwa ngumu, mimi nitajisustain tu kwa mbele, nitapelekwa kwa kushona. And I remember I didn't love it. I felt so bad that day. I cried and I didn't know what to do. But mi sijui nilipataje idea. Up to now I never understand it, but I remember the first thing that I did after a week, nikamwambia mama, naonanga watu wakiuza huko kwa gate, wakiuza vitu kwa students wakinunua. What if mimi unipeange, instead ya kungoja watu waende kwa gate, mimi nitakuwa nauzia students na nijifiche nayo shule, because by that time watoto hatukukubaliwa kuuza. And my mom was like, really tu, akamwambia acha tutujaribu. So my mom alingenipea hizo sukari nguru nikuje nayo shule. And it was strict because zilikuwa zinamwagwa teacher akijua. So mlikuwa mnajificha na watoto unawaambia nyuma that unauza sukari nguru. So I sold sukari nguru term 1 na term 2, but haikuwa inaleta domob. Nikarealize, sijui venye by the I don't know how I was getting the ideas, but I remembered telling my mother, but leo mama wa bajia si anauzanga sana. Si tunaweza kuwa tukiamka asubuhi tukipika bajia na mimi unaniwekea kwa packet, niende nikuwe nikiuzia wale wenye nimekuwa nikiuzia sukari nguru. So we tried it and it was bringing a lot of money, not a lot of money, but at least ile box ya biscuits indogo was carrying bajia za 55 ya 300 bob. So ningebeba bajia, but it was hard at the beginning because teacher hakufaa kujua, but harufu ya bajia ilikuwa inatu expose. So I remember one day kupelekwa ofisi na madam teacher kuniuliza mbona nafanya hivyo, and I told her mimi nimeambiwa niache shule. Nimeambiwa niache shule juu hakuna school fee. So najaribu kuuza hizi ndio nijilipie school fee, and at least nisiache shule. And madam teacher took me to the principal, that was Mr. Baraza, and it was approved. Nikaambiwa mimi nisikuwe ninaficha, nikuwe nikikuja nazo. In fact I started selling for walimu breakfast ya chai na students. Now the challenge was, as much as I was clever, but every break time hata teacher angekuwa class mimi ningetoka juu nisipouza saa ya break bajia ikilala itaharibika. And that is what I did. So class 7 yote we paid all the school fee yangu na ya brother yangu. So ni hiyo bajia ilikuwa inatulipia fee. Class 8 tulilipa hadi extra. Now reaching class 8, I remember the worst thing that happened to me ni time yenye tulikuwa tunasomea KCPE. And tulikuwa kwa group tunasoma, but watoto wangekujia bajia hiyo morning session. Kuna teacher wa nursery alijitolea, alikuwa anazichukua sasa kwangu, akikuja saa break ikifika nampelekea, so watu wananunua kwake. But hiyo asubuhi tuko discussion 5 asubuhi, but kids will come for the bajias. And one day a friend of mine just told me that itabidi uamue, juu watoto wako wanatu distract, uamue kuuza ama usome na sisi. And ilini hurt sana, but mimi sikujibu, but I just told her acha tu akuje, ikifika saa break nitapelekea mwalimu wa nursery. So that was how it was, and I managed to do my class 8 together with my brother. I passed. Even after passing, there was no hope of going to secondary school because mimi ni msichana, and I was to leave school back in class 7. So after class 8, personally I knew I was going to pass, and I knew there was no going to school. But me, I thought, what if nikianza kutafuta pesa, si mama yangu anaweza nisaidia huko mbele. Nakumbuka nikiambia mom mimi nafikiria kwenda kuanza kuuza vitu soko, tuone kama itawaka. And by then the counselor, hatukuanga na MCA, kulikuanga na counselor alikuanga anaishi karibu na kwetu, and the wives, bibi za makansela, ndio walikuwa wanakuanga watu wa county council. So my mother spoke with one, akakubali kutupea kibanda ya mama mwenye alikuwa hayuko. So tungetumia hiyo kibanda. I used to sell nyanya, omena, kitungu, na ningekata skuma. Guys, mimi nimekuwa mama mboga at immediately after class 8. I think I was just 12 years by then, and people will think that mimi nimeuzia mom, and it was a challenge because watu wengine hawange kuja kununua kwangu juu wanaona mimi ni mtoto sitapima mingi. Wanauliza mama yako ako wapi, and I'm like, I'm the mom. And that is how I raised my school fee. So when the results were coming back, by that time watu walikuwa na join form 1 at February. So when February ilifika, ilipata kama niko na around 14,000, 8,000. And my brother, immediate follower, yeye huyo mwenye tulimaliza naye class 8, yeye alikuwa anafanya kazi ya mjengo. Kulikuwa na wenye walinunua shamba karibu na kwetu, so they were constructing a house, and brother yangu akachukua tenda kwa leteanga maji. So alikuwa analipwa 10 bob per kibuyu. I don't know how much he had by the time we were joining school, but before the results came out, sisi kwa mimi na mamangu na bradangu tena tulikaa chini tukaelewana kila mtu atapelekwa shule, hata kama ni shule yenye si yenye tulikuwa tunataka, lakini mwenye ameshinda mwenzake atatangulia kupelekwa shule, huyo mwingine atafuata. So being that nilishinda bro class 8, the family didn't know, but being that nilishinda bro class 8, it was clear that mimi na join kwanza then bro afuate. So it was so hard for me because yes, I was to join cool nikaitwa Nyamonye Girls, of which we couldn't afford, but hapo kwa soko nikasikia kuna shule imefunguliwa, Uluthe Secondary School, where inachukua watu na fee iko chini. By then kulikuwa na rumors, kulikuwa na scholarship, of which time tuliingia ilipata kama ishaisha. So mimi nikamwambia mamangu ebu aenda jaribu. Mama kuenda akapata fee ni 14,000. Personally I had 8,000 na nilikuwa nishanunua hizi vitu za second hand. Vitabu hizi vitu zenye watu join nazo. So we had almost everything and 8,000 cash. And Uluthe was by then, at least saizi, but by then ungesikia unaenda Uluthe, aungependa, like, because like people, it was not, haikuwa na brand and all that, but me I told my mother ni bora tu nimepelekwa shule. So I was taken to Uluthe, and it was not easy because the family were seeing like my mother. I remember there is a term that even was used that with my grandmother, or maybe with someone who was close to us, that my mother is misleading my father's house because anapelekaje msichana shule mwenye atashika mimba na hizo school fees yaribike na anaacha kijana. And you see, the worst thing is all these things were coming to me, and personally that was not my focus. I really didn't want to disappoint my family, and these were the people that I thought would have supported. And now you hear all those things, you see people saying like, huyu msichana naye anakaa kama aunti yake, huyu ni kama atamaliza shule, she will just mess things up, sijui mbona anapewa attention na mamake. But at least we as a family, we were one. My brother so much embraced me that he didn't show me that ka feeling like kuna venye napendwa kumliko. So when we went to school the first day, I asked the principal. My mother aliogopa. Nikamwambia principal, by the way, mimi kuna brother yangu ako nyumbani na mamangu ana pesa, anaweza letwa? And the principal was like, mamangu like amepitia vitu mob hadi kuna venye she used to struggle with self esteem, but me I used to speak my mind out even mbele ya watu. So my mama alikuwa naibika, and Prince akaona the way my mother is struggling to make me not say this, and Prince akamuuliza akachana nikauliza, what is this child saying? Then my mother explained to him, and the principal, it was the deputy Mr. Kwako, and he told him kesho ulete calling letter ya huyo kijana. And to cut the story short, we joined the school, and now I joined first. After 1 week my brother came, and that is how we survived in Uluthe. And it was not easy, guys. Uluthe is so far from our home. It is 3.5 kilometers away, and si ati ni straight, barabara straight. By then ilikuwa ni vichochoro. I remember the first time before tuanze kufuata the main road, kuna siku zenye nilikuwa nafuata vichochoro, unafika boma ya mtu, mbwa inakufungia, like you can't pass, because nilikuwa natoka home 5 ndio nifike shule before 7. So imagine umetembea distance yote, mbwa imekufungia, you go back to the main road. And it was not easy, but God helped us, and it was a matter of consistency. At Form 1 I got born again with the focus that siwezi taka kushika ball ni embarrass mamangu, and I heard that when you are born again, God is able to preserve. And that is how I purposed to give my life to Christ. And I started walking the journey, now being the CU chair lady at Form 2, pushing the things, being a leader and all that. And mark you, my mom never believed that her daughter could do all these things. And sometimes it's true, my mother never even used to come to school because alikuwa ana feel like she's not worth being my mother, of which I didn't know why, but she never wanted to come, and she used to feel like she's not giving me the best. But personally, I lived a life of contentment and pushing so hard. Kwa shule it was so hard, guys. I remember not once, not twice, I lacked even a pad. Like imagine mimi, like kuna time nilikuwa natumia viraka. I don't know if you can really see the picture, using the viraka and walking that distance. It's painful juu hiyo kiraka kuna venye kienda side inakukata. And nobody could know I knew mom didn't have money and I could even mention to her that sina pads. Kuna time I could mess up. Ninajua tu vizuri na attend, niko na hiyo kiraka, ni kama nime mess up, and I could just tell my friends, hata sikuwa najua na attend. But deep within me, I know that ni venye sina pads. And that is how life was. And it was the hardest. I remember I was this leader of CU, but kuna time I had one pant. It was not easy. Like, that was how hard it was to be a leader, a born again person, and trying to be a lady to honor God, and you lack these things, and there's nobody to provide, and there's nobody to speak to. But I never made a decision to quit from my goal. So yes, it was, I think, me personally nilikuwa na survive juu. Yes, someone could ask, how could you be surviving with one pant? What would I be doing? Nilikuwa naoga kila usiku. Like me, I would bathe every day in the evening. I wash my panty, naidraisha kabisa. I ensure by morning imekauka. Na ilikuwa panty ya mtumba. Why am I saying this? Because some people are so much, they are losing it because of the things they are passing through until they can't focus on what they want. And it was not easy, but I focused to do this. So the worst moment of my, maybe just an experience of having one pant came when we were going to a convention, and I was having one pant. Personally, what I used to do, I knew my situation. So mi nilikuwa leader, ningehakikisha wa students wangu wote wako kwa room moja, hiyo cube. Hizo za boarding schools. Then personally I go and sleep penye watu wa shule yetu wako. Number one reason was I didn't have enough clothes. I didn't have enough pants. Number two, I didn't have good clothes. Unajua venye watoto wa shule saa hizo ndo wanakuanga na manguo za kuchange. Me, I didn't have. Number three, I used to pray a lot. So sikutaka kuwa distract. Because at least nikiomba sana na niombe penya watu wanijua, wata feel nimewaharibia usingizi. So yes, we survived. And the worst thing happened when one day we went to a convention and room ilija. And I had one student remaining. And I said, wewe, wacha ulale hapa. I took one person who I thought was my best friend to come to my room. And when coming, hadi sikushare na yeye bed, but she noticed the situation and she shared with our friends. And one day when we were studying, just a male friend mentioned it. And it was, I felt like I can't do this. But who cares? That was me by then. So it was not easy. Yes, secondary life, school life was that hectic. I remember going to Form 4, tulienda boarding hiyo ya, tulikuwa tunaishi kwa boma ya shusho mwenye alikufa, because home ni mbali ndio tuweze kusoma. Yes, I was the school head girl and I was the first person to be there to look at the ladies, but I didn't have a mattress, ladies. I didn't have clothes. Bado tuna hizo pants. I think now I had two. Moja shemeji yangu alinibaia ingine, so I had two. Like, I didn't have anything. Prince akasema, in order for the boarding ya wasichana kuanza, lazima nikue. My mother, I know how she was. The situation was, singe mention, naitaji, easy stuffs. Ladies, I went to school, boarding. My friends who are watching this na tulisoma seko wanajua. Nilienda bila mattress, nilienda bila blankets, nilibeba tu manguo na ndoo ya rangi yenye ilikuwa imetumika na jirani kwa penye bro alikuwa anajenga, nikapewa. And I went to school with 50 bob yenye shemeji yangu alinipea. Nilienda shule. Mamangu aliongea na beshte yake akanibeba. I was in a boarding school in that condition. What was happening? People thought we used to read a lot. Personally, I could read the whole night because I didn't have somewhere to sleep. So tungelala jioni saa ya games, usiku tusome yote, time ile watu wanaamka, tunaenda kulala. And we managed and we passed. And now tukamaliza shule Form 4. Ikaisha hivyo. I knew I was going to pass, even if not too much. I remember when the exams was too hard at Form 4. Exam ilikuwa ngumu, tulikuwa time ya Matiang'i. I remember going to a room, I think ilikuwa Form 2 East. Hakukuwa na light, and I knelt down and I told God, these exams is hard. And it is only me that can change the situation of my mother. God, if you allow me to pass these exams and go to university, one thing I promise you is that I will serve you. By that time, I'm doing that. And remember, my school fee was through a miracle. Maybe just to mention that, someone will be like, how were you paying school fees? I was made to be the representative of students in the school board of management. by our principal. So through that, every meetings zilikuwanga tulikuwa tunapewa 1k. That 1k was everything to me. Kulikuwa na time tulikuwa hadi tunapalililia watu just to get doza kwenda conventions and all that. That is another story. But pesa zilikuwa zinanisustain more so ni hizo tu za board of management representative. So I could get maybe 1000 ni buy vitu zenye naweza hitaji zenye ni necessity. I think, and that is how we were surviving. School fees, the principal and the deputy principal understood my situation. Every bursary nilikuwa napata. And ikiumana sana, deputy Mr. Kwako, may God bless you. I remember kuna time alikuwa anajua tu mimi sina fina. Alikuwa anambia, mwalimu unajua mimi nikifukuzwa nyumbani, hakuna kitu naendea, hakuna mtu atanipea. And you see, the enemy brought a spirit of rejection in me that my family never loved me, including sana my grandmother. I'm sorry she's dead. She passed away and I forgave her, but she hated me so much that tungefukuziwa fee sisi wawili, akuwe na 2000 ama aombe mtu juu unajua sasa shoshako na watu wake na ape bro zote na mimi asinipe bob na bro arudi shule na mimi nibaki. And it used to hurt mom, but mom didn't have anything. So I never wanted mom to reach to at that point, because I reached a point that I was like, but I'm the second born, so inamaanisha mimi ni mtoto wa hii boma. So I didn't want to go home. So I will tell deputy, mwalimu unajua mimi nikifukuzwa hakuna mtu naenda kwake. And deputy will tell me, Brenda, stop worrying, come and arrange my office. By then I was the office girl. Ningeenda nitengeneze ofisi. Prince akiingia kwa ofisi, deputy principal ananipea kitabu ya wenye wamelipa fee. He would be like, I was to go and send people away home for form 2, so you go and read the names. Wenye jina zao wako hapo waende nyumbani. Sasa hizo mimi niko form 3. So kitambo Prince atoke form 3 class yetu, I'm done with form 3. Sasa ni mimi nilikuwa na send watu home. But personally I didn't have school fee. So God just said it. So that is an advantage of being born again at that early age that helped my life. I was never sent away for school fee as from form 2. Form 1 nilikuwa nafukuzwa juu wako wananijua, ndio sasa nilikuwa na experience hizo vitu za shosho. And now form 4 was over. I knew I was going to pass because I trusted God for it. And we were trained in KCF, Kenya Christians Fellowship. We were trained to believe in God. And I was a strong believer of the word of God. And I knew I was going to pass because covenants, it was a covenant that I made to God. And I believed that God was going to answer it. But the truth was, there was no way I was going to be paid for campus fee. Because kama secondary na primary imekuwa hivyo. So thanks be to God. Personally, venye nilimaliza shule, I didn't want even to go to campus. Because, manzeni niliteseka seko sana. I just wanted to live my life. And I was like, now what am I even fighting for? So after form 4, thank God, results came earlier enough for me to prepare. Ilikuwa time ya matiang'i 27th December. Results zilitoka, I remember. So zilitoka, tikaambiwa nimepata C+. By then I got a C+ by then. And I knew, number one, initially I knew I was not going to campus because si watu wa B- and above ndo walikuwa naenda. Then after some time my brother came. I thank God for my elder brother. As much as we shared class, my brother had never envied me. Yes, nilikuwa namshinda na yeye ni mkubwa, but he used to encourage me. Maybe just kuna climb class 7, hizo time issues zilianza kunihit, nilikuwa na stress sana. That is the time I ever got number 28 out of 50. Na tulikuwa tunashare na bro class na yeye amerudia na mimi nimekuja, and he was shocked. And I remember akiniuliza, I don't know how it came out, but that thing helped me, bro. It made me feel like at least to feel na kufanyia injustice. Kuna time nilifika tu acha nishinde ndio sionekane na take place yake. Akaniuliza, na nini inafanyika? Mbona siku hizo unaanguka hivyo? Aliniuliza na Kijaluo. Mbona siku hizo unaanguka hivyo? Nikamwambia, and I remember telling him, akia katage matima, I don't know even what's happening to me. Kaniambia hapana, wewe jikaze. And remember, he is my brother, my elder brother, na bado yeye number 28. Tulikuwa tunakaribiana tu, but because he knew how I used to pass. And I remember that, I don't know if my brother was keen enough, but after that conversation, the next exams we did, I was number 3. And my brother always encouraged me I remember secondary school, hizo times yeye alikuwa anajua kuendesha bike, mimi sikuwa najua. Before ni admit nimwambie mimi acha tu nitembeange, my brother never knew how to carry someone kwa bike. Bro angenibebanga. Na bado like nakumbuka tukianguka, tunaanguka wote, ananiambia pole. Sikuwa najua sijui nini, sijui bike imefanyika aje. Ananisaidia maji napanguza nayo skirt, tena napanda hiyo bike. It happened for I think 3 weeks. Then I told him mimi nitakuwa narauka tu na nitembee. Juu yeye he was struggling with kurauka. So mimi nilikuwa narauka tu, yeye anakuja baadaye. Mimi narauka tu natembea, ananipita na bike huko mbele. Then thank God, may God bless Mr. Fred. Mr. Fred used to give me lift. The other day he posted and I told him, one thing I remember you with is giving me lift whenever I was late. Hangenipita and he was our teacher. Angenisongea kwa pikipiki na tungeenda shule. Because I'm a leader, sometimes umechelewa and all that. So when the results came, bro was number 1 to come and tell me, Matiang'i ametangaza watu wamepata C+ wanaenda university. You see, that alone gave me the confidence, because this is the person we shared with class, and now he's happy that they have announced that I have passed the cut point. But I remember mom coming before ajue hiyo news ya Matiang'i, juu bro ndiye alikuwa ana-break si hata sisi. Then my mother, kumbe mimi sikuwa najua, mamangu pia alikuwa ana expect niende university by the way. So akakuja akaniambia, kauliza Benta, umepata nini? And I was like C+. Akaniambia usijali, umejaribu mtoto wangu. Mungu tu atakupea kibarua kidogo na hiyo kitu umepata uninunulie nayo sukari. And my brother was like, hapana, Matiang'i amesema watu wa C+ wanaenda university. And that was the news. So there were guys like my village members, a few people, I think 2 guys who held my hand in secondary school journey. Walikuwa wananisaidia ku apply bursary at form 1 nini. They met my mother and my mother was like, kumbe mamangu anachangamka hapa, and she's stressed that huyu msichana tena anaenda university. For her, as much as she was not helping me, it used to hurt her so much how much I struggle and I strain. And my situation used to make her remember my father so much, because my father was so hardworking that my father would have been there. Maybe this could have not happened. So she felt, kumbe she was shocked with the news. So the guys met her. She was just telling me the story later on and started encouraging her and telling her that it was going to be possible. And they were like, hata juzi amekuwa secondary school and there was nothing you were losing. So guys, the news was broken. It was told this was December 27th. Personally, I knew there was no money and I didn't want to suffer again. And again, you see, at home nilikuwa nateseka, na at least nilikuwa sure chakula na ilikuwa sure bet. My mother hatakuwa ilala njaa. So, I was like, mimi personally nikilala nikajiambia lazima niende university sasa. Ile story nimeachana nayo ya kuogopa kuteseka, lazima niende university. I called my friend Rose. May God bless Rose Omoro whenever she is. I told her, Rose Omoro also is my classmate, she passed. She was my friend. I told her, Rose, mimi nimesikia pia mimi nimepita na naenda university. So nitafutie job. Yeye alikuwa ameenda kwa sister yake. And she went to her sister and alikuwa shapata casual job ya kufanya kwa maua. Guys. So tukaconnectisha. By then I was underage. I didn't have an ID. I was still 17 and some months. I didn't have an ID. Rosie akaniambia, mimi sikujua Nairobi kwanza mtu haizi pata job kama hana ID. I didn't know. So she told me, nishapata kazi but nakuconnectia ukuje. So Rosie connected for me. Nafasi ikapatikana ya kufanya casual job kwa maua. Mimi naye hatukuwa na doni, nika convince mamangu nikamwambia nikipata kazi hivi tutakuwa sawa. Mamangu akanikopeshea 2000 shillings. That was my fare to Nairobi. It was thicker. It's not thicker, Ndarugo unaingia hivi kuna kampuni hapo chini. So I was going to work as a casual. By then, remember I don't have ID. Number 2, Rosie mwenyewe hana nyumba, anaishi na sister yake. Number 3, the sister did not want to host me. So the story of me being in the Ndarugo and all that is a story for another day. Guys, as we continue being here, you will hear. But the experience was hard. Because when we arrived there, Sizwa Rosie akajam, and all that happened, and we had to start life with Rosie from zero. Like, this is the room, mwanze maisha, and God helped us. So I worked there. Maybe your story tutachapa badai, but I worked there. My goal was to go to school, but my mother called me. My immediate follower alimaliza from class 8. He had 380 something marks. He was to go to secondary school. There is no money. Mimi niko na kazi, so I was to help. My elder brother hakuwa na job bado. So instead of me starting to save for my fee, I started to save for my younger brother. So kazi ya maua was hard. Pesa tulikuwa tunalipwa 6,000, haingeweza kusave. I think ikifika mwezi wa 5 nikajiambia hapana. Nikaongea na bishop yangu akaniambia kazi yenyewe inaweza kusaidia kusave ni ya house help, kazi ya nyumba. So wewe ukiweza pata hiyo job utakuwa unalipa rent, utakuwa una change manguo, like it saves a lot. Itakusaidia kusavia shule. And I was like, why not me? I want to go to school. So I called my cousin Evelyn and she looked for me a job. So Carol Evelyn akapata kazi. Mark you guys, I was working, but by that time I didn't even have 100 bob ya kunifikisha tao kwenda job South C. Niliaidika kuambia Evelyn sina fare. Ikakaa 1 hour, job ikaenda. Mimi nikamwambia baadaye mimi sina fare na hata jana nililala njaa. Guys, I learned that Nairobi ndio mtu ulala njaa, and I never told my mother even a single day that I used to sleep hungry. So nikakuja, job ikakosekana. God akacheza kama yeye. I used to pray a lot. Nilikuwa na altar yangu kwa bush nyingine hapo tu karibu na hiyo kampuni. Ilikuwa kabush but kuna page ilifia kwa. I used to pray there like nobody's business. Nikienda hapo naomba hata ni kama kitu inaweza niuma, but God, those prayers, God watched over them. So nikapata kazi ya nyumba. I worked there and God used those people. I don't know how it happened, guys, but that is it. The lady was just too good. She was paying me extra. Alikuwa ananipea credit, alikuwa ananipea bonus, but I told her immediately niliingia naenda shule na natafuta school fee, and she encouraged me kufungua a bank account, and I used to save every single coin. So from that I joined school campus. Joining, hey, life was something else, but a story for another day. Maybe just to wrap up my journey, educational journey. In campus, I did all sorts of activities. I used to pay my school fee. I used to pay my rent. And one thing that I can attest, I have never depended on any guy in my life. I have always sorted my bills by the help of God and hard work. My mother has never paid my school fees. And as we speak, the only balance I have in JKUAT is 8,000 shillings. That is the second semester for the year nililipa ikabaki juu ya COVID. I lost my jobs, my hustles that I used to do. Some of the jobs that I used to do, I have worked as a mentor in Dreams LVZT when I was in second year. I have worked as a mama fua. Nilikuwa naitwa mama fua by then. Mama fua, not for one person, not for two people, but many people. Nawafulia every weekend and anytime I don't have job. Nimefanya nini tena? Like I've just done a lot of work. And every time my goal was always to do a degree and to graduate. And at the same time, I have attended my classes faithfully. And again, just to affirm my covenant that I gave to God, I have served the Lord. I know maybe what I've done is not enough or is not enough to say, but deep within my heart, I have served the Lord with a lot of sincerity. So why am I sharing this story? I am sharing this story for someone that saw me being told congratulations on Friday and felt like maybe there's something special about me than you. Or maybe I did something, I had someone somewhere that made me reach there. But that is not the case. My mother has never come to Juja. My elder brother has come to Juja, I think 2 times or 3 times. So I had an opportunity to have as many kids as I want in Juja. I had an opportunity to go into drugs. I had an opportunity to live any reckless life that someone can think of. I had an opportunity to tell my mother that I'm in school, yet I am married, but yet I didn't do all those things. And any other thing that maybe someone can think of. So I want just to encourage you. Maybe you as a person, You didn't mess up with your life. But you left it, you just relented your destiny, or just left fighting for it because you had a reason that you were not supported, or because you had a reason that someone failed you. But I just want to tell you that it is never too late. And you are the author of your life. And nobody owes you anything in this life. People celebrate achievement. People does not celebrate excuses. People don't mind about reasons. Sa hizi, mtu akiniona nimevaa gown, he doesn't care. Like, what is behind it? The next thing someone will ask is, which class did you get? No, like you will, in fact, when you apply for a job, you will not start explaining why you got a D. So let us just stand up and push our lives. I know maybe it's not a big achievement as such, but personally, I know when I traced the journey on Friday, I know I didn't put a bash, but I was in my room alone and I was just meditating upon how the journey has been. My first day in campus, guys, I didn't have a mattress. Nilikuwa nimelipa kila kitu, but nini ziliniishia. Inaitwaje? Inaitwaje? Hostel zilisha. So I had to rent outside. I didn't know that mtu lazima kuje na mattress yake. Me, I've never rented a house since I was born. So kufika jioni nimetashughulikia hizo vitu zote, kukuja kwa nyumba, I'm like, I don't have a mattress. I don't have money. I have paid everything in school. I almost slept kwa floor. I tried it. By the way, guys, I tried it. It was so cold. I remember kwenda kwa caretaker and I was like, guy, tafadhali, sina mattress. Nilikuwa naomba kama unaweza niorganizea moja, kesho nione venye nitafanya. Nobody cares. Nobody knows how I've been surviving. But here we are, celebrating the goodness of God. So it is upon each one and every one of us, young ladies, young men, to own our responsibilities, to push harder so that we can hold other people's hands and see the beauty that is in it, because God has released enough grace for us to do it. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much. For those that have celebrated me, I read those comments one after the other, and I'm so much grateful. And I believe that even this video shall challenge someone and shall give someone a reason to push harder, not only in your academic journey, but in any other journey that you are in. Our focus, just keep focused, have your goal, and watch over your goal than any other thing that is happening around you. Thank you, and thank you for following us up to this end. Expect more stories, expect more experiences, and I believe with this, we shall be built together. Thank you, and have a nice time. Bye-bye. Now subscribe and say.